there was more out of Donald Trump's interview with Reuters. A lot of controversial things were said, and among those controversial things was Trump's shock and surprise at what it would be like to be the president of the United States. Take a listen.
I loved my previous life. I had so many things going. I actually, this is more work than in my previous life. I thought it would be easier. I thought it was more of I'm a details-oriented person, I think you would say that. But I do miss my old life.
The thing is, how would anyone know that being president is a lot of work? I mean, I would just think that it'd be super easy and you would get to, just say that you want certain things and then you would go unchecked or unchallenged. I think that's what his statement is really about. Because when you are running a company, when you are a CEO or an owner of a company, whatever it is, you essentially have the final word in most situations, unless, someone owns, more than you do, and you guys.
But that's why he's comfortable with the executive orders.
But he's used to, that's exactly right. Like he's used to just getting what he wants. He's used to having his family hand over all the money, hand over all the companies. He gets to tell people whether they're fired or they can keep their jobs. He thought that the presidency was something that would go unchecked, that he could sign a travel ban as an executive order, and that's it. I mean, Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, what is that? These judges get to challenge me, these federal judges get to challenge me. It's hard work, right? And one thing that I think he really needs to work on and really lacks in is the ability to have conversations and negotiate. He talks about being a good deal maker. He doesn't know how to make deals because in his world, whatever he says goes and you don't have to make a deal.
He's good at making a deal when he has all the leverage.
Right.
Everyone's good at that. He's rich, he's often had leverage. That's it. It's not complicated. He's not some sophisticated. He has no insight into the human soul.
By the way, he's not detail oriented. What a load of crap that is.
He couldn't be less detail oriented. He's detail disoriented. Actually, I thought it would be easier. Actually, he doesn't even know what the word actually means. Like he's like, actually, this one's harder. Everybody's like, what? No shit, this one's harder. It's the hardest job in the world. Everyone would have told you that. Everyone told you that.
And apparently he's also struggling with some of the downsides of being president. And obviously you will miss solitude and you will miss privacy. Those are two things that you are unlikely to have while you're president. And it came as a little bit of a shock for him. He says, and while I've had very little privacy in my old life, because I've been famous for a long time, this is much less privacy than I've seen before. This is, something that's really amazing. At the same time, you're really into your own cocoon because there's such massive protection that you really can't go anywhere.
Except to Florida.
Yeah, except you do go somewhere every weekend and make a huge commercial out of it so you can drum up business from Mar-a-Lago. But
they don't know how that got on the website, the State Department. They took it off. How did it get on there? I don't know. Just an accident.
Anyway, he also says, I like to drive. I can't drive anymore.
I'll tell you what he likes to do. He likes to nail women, and he can't do that the way he was doing it on the pace that he was before. And that's what that whole bite about security, and it's all about that. This guy is as one-dimensional as they come. He's a rich guy who likes to take advantage of situations.
He's always been rich. He's still rich, and likes to take advantage of his wealth, and is sort of oddly unable to now. But this is exactly it. This conversation is the very conversation that convinces no one to abandon that guy politically. No one. Like, this is three elites talking about how he's an idiot, and he is an idiot, and he's a fraud. And what gets me is that we didn't see it. That not enough people saw like you needed 12 seconds of hearing him and be like, okay, that guy can't be president. Like, I don't think I have some great skill in that. I think it was obvious to everyone, but they decided to ignore it, I think, because they hated the person he was running against. But the only thing that will ever convince people is if every day, and I think we should do it here, and I will call our friend afterwards, but there should be a daily segment on this show called Trump's War on the Working Class. And every day, because there is something every day to talk about. We started the show talking about it. And if every day in the paper they read or on the news that they see, there was Trump's war on the working class, the thing he did today that you think might help you but is going to raise your insurance premiums, or if you live in one of the states where under his new health care plan they can throw people with pre-existing conditions off, is going to, your son has early onset diabetes, nope, they're not going to cover it, and he's either going to die or you're going to spend $29,000 a month on his medicine. So if we did those stories on a regular basis, they're not as fun. We don't get to point fingers at this fraudulent imbecile who's running our country, but it might change some people's minds. Like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that, because the list is long.
It is.
While we focus on the politics, we meaning the media in general focus on the politics, the policy is hideous and it helps one tiny group of people and it hurts millions and millions and millions of people on a daily basis.
Our journalism drive is almost over. It ends in Trump's first 100 days. We need to hire more reporters and more watchdogs. Let's do that right now at tytnetwork.com/go.